To get up at like 6 o'clock in the morning to have time to make this entire meal in the day.
Hi, welcome back. Today it's Cook with Cheyenne Day.
Hi.
What are you going to be making today?
I'm going to be making 3 cheese ravioli. I'm going to be making apple crumb pie. Make a pizza wreath. And a Caesar salad.
You have got your work cut out for you.
Yes, I do.
How long do you think that's going to take you to make?
I bet you from breakfast till dinner.
I think that's the first thing we're going to start looking at. I have this trusty little plastic clock. And we're going to set it for the time that we want to start dinner.
Okay.
What time should we have dinner at?
I say we usually have dinner around 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Okay, so I have our clock set for 5:30. And we are going to start going through these recipes and see if Cheyenne's going to start cooking 3 days before it's time to eat, or if she's going to be able to do it all in one day. Anybody have any bets on whether or not she's going to be able to make all of this food in one day? So one of the key things we're going to work on is time management. Cheyenne's levels are a little bit different than the other kids, so we're going to start with time management for her. So, the good thing about these recipes is they have the time right here, how long it's going to take you to make that meal while you're cooking. So that's what we're going to use when we're figuring out our time management for this. How long is it going to take you to be active in the kitchen making this meal?
So 50 to 60 minutes, so roughly an hour.
So an hour, but how many servings is that?
24.
No, that's 24 little raviolis that are like this big.
Okay.
How many raviolis do you think you would eat in a meal?
Probably.
Remember, they're like this big.
So probably like 10 to 15 maybe or more.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So why don't we make it easy for the sake of dividing this up?
Okay.
It says it's going to make 24 ravioli.
Okay.
So if we divide 24 by 8.
That'd be 3 raviolis a person.
No, that will be 3 servings. 3 servings of 8 ravioli per person. So if you're going to make this meal for 9 people, and one recipe makes it for 3 people, how many times do you have to do this recipe?
You have to do it 3 times 3.
So you're going to do this recipe 3 times. So we are going to back our clock up.
Okay.
3 hours. 1 hour. 2 hours. 3 hours. So you need to start your ravioli
At 2:30.
at 2:30 for making this meal.
And that's only one of the 4.
It is one of the 4. This is why we're working on our time management. Hey, let's look at our other recipes now.
Yes, the pizza wreath.
Okay, how many servings does this recipe make?
8 to 10 servings.
So you only need to make it once? One recipe, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Because there's 9 people, and this does 8 to 10 servings.
Yeah.
So we only need one recipe.
Okay. That makes it simple.
Okay? So how long is it going to take?
So prep time and cook time is both 30 minutes, so again another hour. So we now have to back it up again for the pizza wreath. Another hour, and so that means I need to start cooking that at 1:30.
Do you think all of these recipes are going to be manageable in one day?
Probably not.
It's not looking good, is it?
No.
Okay, let's keep working on this because we want to have a successful cooking day.
Yes, we do.
We don't want to be so exhausted and then have it all fail. We want to make sure that you're successful.
Yeah.
Next up is your
Caesar salad.
So how long is it going to take you to make your Caesar salad?
Prep time and cook time. Prep time's 20 minutes, cook time's 15 minutes. So if we add that together, that is 35 minutes long.
So 35 minutes times 2 because you're going to do it
So
twice.
So we're gonna back it up an hour and 10 minutes. So that's 12:20. We still have another recipe to go.
So the next recipe is our dessert. So how many times are you going to have to do this recipe?
2 times because it only does 8 servings.
Okay, so how long does it take to make this recipe?
So active kitchen time is 60 to 80 minutes. So that's like 2 hours and 10 minutes. Bake time is 60 minutes. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have to start at like 9 o'clock.
Okay, so let's add up the time on the high side just to make sure that we have a little bit of leeway.
Okay.
So we've got 80 minutes active time and 60 minutes baking time. So what's 80 plus 60?
That's 140 minutes.
But you need to double that because you're going to make 2 pies.
So that's 280 minutes.
So it's time to back our clock up again. How many hours? It's 280 minutes?
That's 4 hours and I think 10 minutes.
And 40 minutes.
40 minutes. That's 1 right there.
That's 1.
That's 1. 2. 3. 4.
And now 40 minutes.
Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. I'd have to get up at like 6 o'clock in the morning to have time to make this entire meal in the day.
That's thinking that you have nothing else planned for the day.
Yeah.
That means that you're not going to be eating lunch, you're just going to be working the whole time.
Yeah, I don't think I like that.
So, how can we fix this?
We could probably take a recipe out if we needed to.
Okay. So why don't we take a look at what we can do to make this more manageable. So can you pick out your favorite recipes, the ones that you really wanted to make first, and then second, and then third, and then fourth. And let's see what we can do to work on the time management.
Okay, this one was one that I was looking at from the very beginning.
Okay.
And then I was thinking this one or pumpkin pie, but Dad does not like pumpkin pie, so...
So you really wanted the pizza wreath and you really want a dessert.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I think maybe this one because spaghetti stuff always has like bread that goes on the side.
Okay.
So I thought that one would go well.
Okay.
And then I thought maybe we should have some greens to go with it to make it a bit healthier.
Okay. Those are really good thoughts. We can pick a recipe that's not one of our radish recipes. So something like spaghetti. It's similar to your ravioli because it's pasta and it's some sauce, but you could make spaghetti a whole lot faster than making your own dough and making your ravioli from scratch.
Or we could cheat the recipe by getting the pre-cut ravioli noodles, couldn't we?
So you want to get some pre-made ravioli?
Yeah.
Yep, we could do that. And then we're going to need a sauce with it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we could do that. Another thing that we can do to cut down some time is this dessert. You are making the pastry.
Okay.
So we could buy some pastry shells already made, and that would cut down a bunch of your time.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, so those are two things that we can do to make your time,
A bit more or less stressful.
to make your meal prep less stressful, but still going for your end goal. So you've got some ideas how you're going to make this easier.
Yes.
Now, we need to look at our food guide.
Okay.
Okay, so we are going to look at the Canada Food Guide because we want to make our meal
Healthy.
healthy. Let's look on here and see if your meal fits into this plan.
Okay.
So on our food plan, it says that half our meal should be
Veggie stuff.
fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
So you have a salad.
That's probably half of it.
We could make it half a plate of salad.
Yeah.
You have the pasta noodles,
Yeah.
and you have your pizza wreath.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's your breads.
Yeah.
So do you think those 2 recipes is a little bit more than a quarter of your plate?
Yes.
Okay. Can we add some veggies in your sauce with your noodles?
Yeah.
So that could help with that, right?
Yeah. So we wouldn't need a half plate of salad.
We're going to make this portion a bit smaller when you've got bread and you have noodles.
Yeah.
Okay, so our sauce is going to have some.
Mhm.
And then our proteins. We're going to need some protein.
Okay.
So your ravioli is stuffed with cheese there,
Mhm.
and that's some of your protein there.
And then we could also add like shredded ground beef or ground chicken into the sauce as well.
We could do that to give you the protein there.
Yeah.
The idea of looking at our food guide is just to make us mindful that we are looking for a healthy, balanced type meal. So I think you did a good job at looking at it, because you added that salad after thinking you needed some greens.
Yeah.
And I like how you did that.
Thank you.
So because we did these things to make it easier and not take up as much time, so that you aren't starting
So early in the morning.
so early in the morning,
So
what time do you think you're gonna need to start?
So if we're cutting off like a good maybe 2-3 hours on that, we could probably start around 11 o'clock.
I think that would be a good time. And then that would probably give some time for breaks in there for you, because as you're progressing through your meals,
Mhm.
you'll know if you have more time and then if you can afford to have a break.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think 11 o'clock is a good time.
Right. Should I reset the clock then?
I think we're gonna leave the clock because we were using this plastic clock just as a visual for us. Because when you're subtracting the hours in your head,
It gets really confusing.
it does get confusing. And having the clock with the time set on it,
It's the whole lot simpler.
it was a whole lot simpler. And it made it very real to life, didn't it?
Yes.
Because if I just told you, take this many hours off, do you think you would have really thought of that?
No, probably not.
So having a clock really helps so that you can actually see the time as it's passing.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for joining us today. I hope you found this very useful for you and the people that you are supporting. We'd like to encourage you to come back and watch our next video where Cheyenne is out and does her grocery shopping. And unfortunately, we had a couple obstacles that we had to overcome, so make sure you don't miss that video. Thanks again. See you soon.